Would you travel to outer space? Dear listeners, help us out. And some not so fascinating updates. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do.
I think you got it perfectly.
What's that?
Yes, the do-do-do-do-doots. I think you got it perfectly. Well,
when I was clowning around.
We'll know when we record it. We'll know when it's edited. Good afternoon, Melissa.
Good afternoon to you as well, Amy.
That's how my life is now. What's insanity?
Afternoon.
It's insanity. I think that's why we connect. I think you get me. You understand.
I think our crazy meshes quite well together. And dear listeners, we do it all for you. And if you would like to share your crazy with us, I'm dropping it here. Please feel free to write us at brilliantobservations@gmail.com. We want to hear about your crazy or how you relate to ours.
Hey-o.
We did read you an email and a review that we got last time about how one of our listeners absolutely related to Amy, really, and how she related to not wanting to turn into me, which is awesome.
Super not what it was. And also last time, we got to hear Melissa give a heartfelt, nay, slightly humbled apology to me for her lateness. And I repaid the compliment
You
today
wouldn't let me.
by being nearly 30 fucking minutes late for this show. So
that's fine. I asked Amy to dance for me
Welcome.
this week because I'm going out of town, and she was kind enough to help me out, so she could have been as late as she wanted, and I would have just been grateful she came today.
You see, that's why they love you. That's why all the listeners flock to you and say, I want to be exactly like you, but maybe with fewer dogs. That's okay. That's okay. You have to allow and admit that having that many dogs is a little bit Elvis ringy.
It's stupid.
It's like a lot of rings on your hands, Elvis. I just want the one.
Kind of hoardy. I get it. It's kind of hoardy. If you want to show us pictures of your dogs or follow us on social media, you could do that at Listen Brilliant on Instagram and Twitter. And on Facebook, you could find us as a subgroup at Brill Squad or just our main page at Brilliant Observations. Please look for us. You will not be disappointed.
And if you want to name your child Horty, I mean, it sounds like a hockey player from Canada. You go right ahead. That'll
Horty Brilliant.
Horty Brilliant. Horty.
Amy.
Yes, dear Melissa.
This past week, we saw a civilian shuttle. Not the first time.
Yep.
Not the first time it's happened. Not the first time in the last 10 days that it's happened, actually.
I know.
Head, I want to say north, but head up.
It was head up, all right. Do you see the dick-looking thing? My Lord in heaven.
That's a lot of penis.
Gee, I wonder if this was made by a bald man. I mean, are you kidding? Are you kidding?
It's not bad enough that he looks like a penis.
Are you kidding? The shape of this rocket. The only thing missing was the rocket fumes and spooge coming out of the tip. The whole thing was so ridiculous in the shape of it. NASA's not built one that looks like this. Did you really have to have a bulbous, penile-looking, circumcised head on the top and then the shaft that you ride in? I mean, what are you doing? Where were the balls? Could you not have like storage balls on the bottom that would drop off? I mean, it's just ridiculous. You don't find this whole thing ridiculous? No, go ahead.
Dear listener, if you've been sleeping for several weeks, I'm so jealous. But besides my jealousy, Jeff Bezos, who I call Bezos, and it upsets my kids, but I know it's Bezos. He took his money, that he has not been paying taxes on, by the way, and he decided he wanted to be an astronaut and go to space. Now, I'm going to start with just my first sentence and tell you that I don't consider him an astronaut the way he considers himself an astronaut.
Do you really think he considers himself an astronaut?
I absolutely do. He and Richard Branson had like a race to space the same way Russia and the US had a race to the moon.
They had the suborbital jerk off where they were trying to see who could get there faster. Yeah.
and shape it more like a phallic creature. So I don't think that qualifies you. I don't think the 18-year-old that he took up there with him as a great graduation from high school present.
What?
It was a crew of 4.
What?
It was Jeff, his equally as bald testicle licking brother,
Gross.
who just kissed his ass
Gross.
the entire time. What you don't know is beforehand we gathered all together and Jeff told the 4 of us, I want you
I'm
to
going
really
to dunk my balls in your mouth one at a time.
well,
Gross.
first in ranch dressing and then in your mouth.
Wow. Oh, woo. It's like a buffet. Okay, got it. Damn.
Tell me if you like it. I brought Thousand Island too. Tell me which one works
on,
better
man. It's white.
in zero gravity.
And sticky black. No, I don't. It's the whole thing. Okay, got
It's
it.
the jizz you were missing at the beginning of this
Well,
podcast.
if that's the price of going to space, yeah, peace out. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
I can't afford it. If
Not
that's the price,
teabagging the Bezos. You can forget that shit. With or without the ranch, baby, it's a pass. Full out noich. There's no.
Hard
I'm not
pass.
coming back.
Hard pass.
Hard noich. Okay.
So his brother was there, and his brother said, "You guys didn't see it, but he gathered the 4 of us together. There are 3 of you, but okay, the four of you gathered together, and my brother is so great. He says it's really important that you appreciate every second of this, and it's really important that you're in the moment. So if there's anything in your head right now, just clear it out and just be here right now, because you are one of, I don't know how many people who have ever left the like just going on and on about this gift he's really giving them and how they should how they should experience it.
I completely
Framing their experience.
I completely agree with your comment now at the beginning
Oh.
when you said you are not an astronaut, because
You are not an astronaut.
Everything that you were describing, I'm going to get
a douche.
I'm going to get political. Speaking of douche, I'm going to get political for about 18 seconds. So if you want to press on a lot of podcast players, if you hit advance 15 seconds, it'll advance 15 seconds. You'll miss the whole thing. Ready? And advance. He sounds exactly like people surrounding Donald Trump must have sounded when he became president, when he did not have the aptitude, capability, stature, or the fucking votes to become president. 15 seconds over. I
And we're
completely
back.
agree with what you were saying, that he is no astronaut. He didn't have the training. He didn't have, this could be 30 minutes on him, and he's not worth it with his ranch covered balls. Pass.
Right. Hard pass. So wait, also on there was Wally Funk, who is the oldest woman.
Wally, a lady? Last name Funk? She had to lick the ranch balls too? Wally, you got a lot of problems. Where do we begin? First,
Seems fitting.
Your name.
She's super old. I'm not gonna lie. She's 82.
her
She's the
name
oldest
is
person
Wally.
to go to space. Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Did she come
Yeah.
back alive? Did she make
She
it?
wasn't allowed to go to space after training because they didn't send women to space. Like, this has been her career forever. And because she was a woman, they didn't send her up. So
she's an OG shutout that he brought back. Not just I'm related to Jeff, so I get to go. It's okay.
Yes, that's
I got
number
it. So,
one.
So we don't mind her, even though her name's a little bit suspect. Okay, got it.
she bested by 23 years John Glenn's record of the oldest human that we sent to space.
And he
She's
hurled
80.
on the way back in, but he properly went. I think they just kind of like drove around the neighborhood. They didn't really actually I think they went suborbital. I'm going to stop because you're going to tell me about the 4th person in the penis.
It's an 18-year-old kid, the youngest person to go to space. So he wanted some records in this thing, right? The oldest, the youngest. The interesting thing
The stupidest.
about
Yeah.
Wally is he's sitting there telling them how to frame this and how to be in this moment. And she's like, I actually trained to go to space. I am an astronaut who never left the atmosphere. And
Right.
I mean, thank you for giving me this opportunity, but you should suck the dick that is
Take your own
this
ranch-covered
rocket.
balls and stick one
Right.
in each ear because I'm done with you.
And if she doesn't think that way and I'm misrepresenting her, Wally, you should.
You know what?
You
That's
really
right.
should.
Wally, you should have take both those balls and clap them together. I don't know why I'm fixated on Jeff Bezos' balls, but they are. They
I don't
remind me
either.
of the little management style desktop thing where you swing them and they're on a string and they go clackety clack 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 clack.
They don't clackety clack in our house anymore
don't
because
know.
all the wires are mixed up, and the
Oh.
kids do this to me on purpose to make me fix
that's
them.
ugly hearted. I don't like
They
that
hate
at
me.
all.
They absolutely
That's
hate
so
me.
unlike them. And
No,
frankly,
it's not.
it's poor management technique. You should tell them. That's not leadership quality. You got to keep
Okay,
those balls swinging. I know you want to get back to space. I know you do.
I want to get back to why he considers himself an astronaut, because he wrote a fucking check. Like, that is not what makes you an astronaut. You said it. It's training. It's the dedication of years of study and learning. And if something had gone wrong, which, by the way, it was a 15-minute excursion. They just went for literally 1 minute, zero gravity, and then they came back down, and you watched them come back, which the technology alone was amazing. But if something had gone wrong, he's dead. Like, you have no way to, you don't know what switch to flick to. It's not the point. You are not an astronaut. You are a very wealthy man. I do want you to know that he gave away, as he landed, philanthropically, after starting the Courage and Civility Award, this new philanthropic, he said as he lands, he's like, well,
did he give it to himself?
He gave it to the makers of ranch dressing, the Hidden Valley Ranch people.
Really hidden. It's really hidden, guys.
Deep in his valley. So he gave $100 million.
What?
Yeah, that's it. He gave $100 million to two separate humans to use for their charities, to use for their whatever their choice was, to better, I don't know, what was $200 million? One of them is Van Jones.
What?
And the other is Jose Andres.
Oh, yeah, the chef in California who feeds everybody in wildfires.
Who feeds everybody.
He's super awesome. He's super
right,
awesome.
So he just got $100 million towards his cause and for feeding.
Yeah, but why does...
To give to the charities and nonprofits of their choice. It turns out that Jose has his own charity nonprofit. He is his own charity nonprofit. So he put that in his pocket and continues to do God's
Van
work.
Jones for to do the work that you should be doing yourself. He has all the power. He has all the influence. He has a microphone and a megaphone. What the fuck? So he's giving it away for publicity for himself and also to not do any good with the work, with the money. He's giving
right, so
he's passing the problem and the opportunity to solve the problem onto somebody else.
I hate that you're making me almost defend this testicled asshole. If he doesn't know, obviously this man does not know how to spend money to make the world a better place.
Correct.
He knows how to spend it to try to make Guinness Book records, oldest human in space, youngest human in space, biggest douchebag, my brother in space.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Smallest balls in space.
Yes.
Most
so
ranch
that's
in space.
utilized outside of the atmosphere.
really fixating on this ranch thing. I didn't know that it was such a deal for me, but I'm not really big on food and sex. I like to keep those separate, but
well, you'd also like to keep yourself
everything.
separate.
I mean, I don't know what to say to you. I'm here to say that in the beginning of this discussion, you happened to mention that I got from your tone, didn't like that he doesn't pay taxes on his money. And I kind of do like that he doesn't pay. I don't know how to feel in the sense that I do know how to feel, but I feel guilty feeling this way. I don't think that he should be paying taxes on his money because he's not breaking the law. Here's where I come in.
Well, you're breaking the law by not paying taxes, aren't you?
No, he's not doing anything illegal. The tax code is what we should be angry with, not the people who benefit from it. He didn't write the tax code. He didn't, he's
I don't
following
personally
the law.
know he's not doing anything illegal, but
I cannot envision that his taxes have been so scrutinized by so many people,
right,
and have not been doing anything wrong. But the point in all of this, how he spends his money, is it really anybody else's responsibility? I think that giving away the money is a cheap shot. I think it looks crappy. I think not paying your taxes is a shitty move. You should be part of the community. You should be supporting. I think blowing all the money that you blew to go up in space and spend 15 minutes all by yourself, I think it's all a fucking embarrassment. But at the same time, should it be more than an embarrassment? Should we
He doesn't see it as an embarrassment. He sees it as, I went there longer than Richard Branson, or I went there in a cooler looking, or I broke 2 records. I think it's like the billionaire's pissing match, you know?
But here's what I'm getting at. Should that be, air quotes, allowed? He lives in society. He lives on the planet. Should any one person not subject to he has more money than many, many, many countries. He has more power and
Right.
influence than many, many, many countries. And guess who controls him? Nothing. The laws, he's governed by the laws of the state of who the fucker cares. Because guess what? He's got enough money. He could break all the laws and still get away with it. So at a certain point, how should that be? I have this idea that it could be reined in or checked in some way. But at the same time, if he wanted to take all of the money that he has earned, put it in a pile, and light it on fire, how is that anybody else's business but his own? And that's the
It's
kind of
not.
thing where I can't even say it without my stomach
I'm with you.
flipping over. He spent so much money to go to space. Should that be allowed? Should he be allowed to take all that money and just burn it, waste it any way that he wants to? When think of all the good that money could be doing. Like, shouldn't there be some sort of fuck you penalty for humans that get out? I mean,
If you're looking for someone to sign up to be the morality police, I volunteer as tribute because he can do whatever he wants with his money. There are no restraints on him. He absolutely has the exact opposite view of himself that I have. I think there is no bigger douche, and he thinks he is the best thing out there. Look at my penis rocket. I went to space, and he thinks I am an astronaut. First,
just cut off
no,
the
you are not.
Yeah,
No,
the first part's
you
right.
are not.
Yeah.
And second, yeah, you did. And yes, he can burn his money in a pile. But I absolutely am the morality police and looking at him saying, you see, I understand the concept of that he was talking about going to space for discovery,
Right.
to find resources. But that's not what he did. That's not what he funded. That's not research for research's sake. We were developing this and found a drug for that. We were trying to do this and discovered that. Discovery through these things is fantastic. Did they discover anything by doing this self-indulgent douchebaggery, ranch dressing addle douchebaggery? No, you didn't discover anything because you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. The fact that he's now beginning to give money, maybe somebody did shame him. Maybe he heard me screaming at the top of my lungs when I was alone in the house.
His
when
wife
this was
certainly
launched.
is, excuse me, his ex-wife certainly is shaming him. She's married, whoever his wife is, they divorced in recent enough past that I'm even aware that they got divorced, and she had, I think her name might be Melissa. She's got a big suitcase full of cash. So,
Yeah, half of his thing. And he's still the wealthiest man in the world.
right. And she is now remarried to a high school
Alrighty.
teacher who has pledged publicly that he is going to quit his job and devote his life to helping her donate 100% of her assets. They're gonna clearinghouse it all. They're giving it all away. That's why I'm like, isn't that a better use of your time to spread this shit around so that other people can benefit? I'm not saying you have to make yourself destitute. I'm not saying that
Right. You
it's
can
even,
keep 3 of your 11 homes.
I'm not
That's
even
fine.
I'm not even saying that you have to
The full staff.
feel responsible for improving the world. I'm just saying that as a reasonable person, aren't you going to get bored? You're just not doing anything. I mean, come
Well,
on.
don't you think boredom drove him to space? Don't you think all that money and boredom made him say, what could I do that other douchebag billionaires haven't done? I know. I'll leave the planet. That's what I'll do. Like, I really feel I don't feel he has that component. And I think maybe this ex-wife of his, or maybe someone got to him and he's starting, right? And you said, isn't it his responsibility? Well, I think Van Jones is a really good liberal brain thinking and saving. He's a great person to give $100 million to. I mean, he wouldn't have been my choice, but okay.
It's a weird flex. I love Van Jones. I know and trust that he will make much better use of that $100 million than Bezos ever would have. But I'm such a skeptic that I already look at it and I go, okay, a prominent black broadcaster who is tapped in to a larger community. I guess this donation's going to get a lot of press. You know, it's like,
you wanted this anonymous?
I don't. I'm super judgy.
He doesn't either. He wants everybody to know, look at my penis rocket. Look at where I gave this money. Like, I don't think the Gates Foundation, I mean, they have a list, but they're not shouting it out with hugely public figures.
I mean, the whole fucking thing is ridiculous. You got this one going up in the penis-shaped rocket. You got the other one going up. He can't even get to the photo shoot on time. He's lying to people about riding a bike.
His bicycle? Yeah, I saw that.
The whole thing, it's publicity stunt. And don't even start me on how much money is being wasted on this shit. I don't even think I can go there. Where I will go is not to space. Let's just presume for a second that one of these two dickholes was inviting you into their ranch nut cabin and you got to go to space. You didn't have to lick any balls. You were just given the VIP suit, right? They had a suit for you, unlike NASA. They had a suit for you that you could wear and you can go.
It fits,
right? You can go to fucking space. Are you going? Are you doing it? Are you going to be like Wally and go? Good old Wally.
Well, are you talking... You're not really an astronaut because you left the atmosphere and came back, or are you talking going to space?
I'm talking about you, Melissa. You have the opportunity to Richard Branson yourself. Whatever it takes to get you ready to go to space, if you choose to go, like you have the opportunity to go. Would you take it?
I'm not really interested in that. No.
Yeah, like there's two parts to the question. They're maybe very easy to answer. The first part is you could snap your fingers and be ready to go. Would you want to go? Like you wouldn't have to do any training. Through the power of magic dust, now you're trained and you can go. Do you want to go? And or you get to go through the power of magic dust. You just have to do all the training to do it. Like I would say no to both. I don't want to go. I don't want to fucking go. I don't want to fucking go. I don't want to go. I would like to be in space without having to go to space.
Honey, I don't want to fly to Florida.
Thank you. I'm going to throw up in that thing. And it's too fast.
I don't want to fly to Florida.
And my
you
jaw
think I'm going to
hurts
get on a...
When you have to get the thing with the G's. I don't want the G's on me. I certainly don't want the jizz on me. I don't want any of the... There's too many G's and jizzes in space. G's. Jizz. It's too much in space. No, I don't want... I don't want to ride a fucking roller coaster. Do you think I want to go to space?
I don't want to go to space. I understand the importance. I respect those who train their lives and learn the engineering aspects of and the whole... What was that Hillary Swank show? Away? Did you see that show?
I saw the trailer for it and didn't go. Yeah.
It was... and didn't go. It was excellent. It's on Netflix. It was excellent.
She's great. She scares me a little bit.
She's frightening. That's why she scares you. I think $1 Million Baby is what did it for you.
Well, she's okay with, I'm going to fucking whoop up on you. And P.S., in my real life, you can't tell what I am. I might be a woman one day. I might be a boxer the next day. I can go for years without eating a morsel of food. Bring it. The whole thing.
I don't understand that. Can we hit on that for a second?
I don't want to hit on her. She terrifies me.
She is kind of
She terrifies. There's just nothing soft. She's not soft anywhere. And I don't need ladies to be soft. I love a good badass bitch, but she seems like she's unstable. Like she's, you know what I mean? Like that's not, there's a difference between being like super confident and badass and I conquer the world. And Charlize Theron can get fat. She can get thin. She can be tan. She can be pale. She can be everything she wants to. She can do. She does it all. And God, we
and still
love her.
maintain being fucking stunning and awesome.
Well, everything is, she can be high. She can be sober. She can be everything. She sort of is like, I am here for you, world. I am here for you, human life. I'm going to try it all.
We're not afraid of her, though.
Because I love her. I love that spirit. And then you look at somebody like Hillary Swank, who I feel like maybe is waiting for me around the alley.
What about Uma Thurman?
I would party with Uma, but she's not really in my bag.
Does she scare you?
She doesn't scare me in the least. She doesn't. Okay. She doesn't truly interest me. Uma Thurman is like a hybrid between Charlize Theron and Drew Barrymore. No, she doesn't have. Uma doesn't have an edge to her. Uma.
Did you see Kill Bill?
That's not an edge. She sued Quentin Tarantino for being a part of that movie because he made her drive too fast in a car without a top on it.
Is that true?
Yes. She drives down a dirt road in that. First of all, I own that whole series. I love it. She drives down a dirt road. And the whole point is it's supposed to be like driving too fast, out of control. And she does it. And she does it in a convertible, and you're filming POV dead on her face while she's driving. And she stopped too fast or nearly hit a tree or some dangerous thing happened. And she fucking sued him for it. So, yeah, she's not. But I also feel like I don't know a lot about Uma. I think she had to deal with Dr. Dickweed, Harvey Weinstein's. That's his fucking name.
It's your mouth and your brain.
I don't like him.
Connected.
I'm here to say I hope Uma is very woo-woo. She's very, very out there, which I think is great. but I don't know enough about her. So she didn't scare me in the slightest.
Let's continue our list of actresses who are woo out there. What about Shailene Woodley?
Oh, the one who's out getting mushrooms in the... No, not interested.
She's making her own toothpaste and deodorant.
She can bring me a pour-over coffee, and I think that would be delightful. Happy to have a meal with you. Good night. I'm done. I'm sure she's great. I'm sure she really is great, but she is way too
good
intense.
Actress.
She's intense. Hilary Swank is intense in every way. Shailene, or whatever her name is intense
Woodley.
in the do-goodery, right? And I can't keep up. I aspire to do goodery. I do some good, but I don't do goodery. And she's too much of it. It's too much. I buy mushrooms. I don't need to go fucking find them in the woods.
Foraging.
Yeah.
She's a forager in the forest. What about Daryl Hannah?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
She's another one who lives in a yurt, right?
I don't know. I think she's a hidden gem. I think that she's good masquerading as, are you kidding me? I think she's like a Laura Dern. There is a bucket of them. Laura Dern is in the Shailene Woodley turn bucket with Hannah. Is her name Hannah? What's her name? Hannah Barbera? What the fuck is her name? Why can't I think of it? Brian? I think where we left off was you were talking about Hannah Barbera and how bad she is in the bucket of ladies. None of that is what you were talking about. But
I don't think Daryl Hannah is bad in any bucket. I think she's great.
No. Yes.
Especially the one that was in the Splash movie. That's my favorite bucket for her to be in.
Well, I feel like there is a bucket that includes similar gals. So Shailene Woodley is in there. Hannah Barbera. What the fuck is her name?
Daryl Hannah.
That's the one. That's her name. It's in there.
But is Hilary Swank in that bucket, or is she just in the scary bucket?
No, she's in that bucket, and she's at the front of the room with like a wand, and she's like a crop, and she's slapping it in her hand to keep all the rest of them in line. And Uma has like a VIP pass to that room, but she's not in there all the time.
Dear listener, are there other actresses you feel could fit in this bucket? Do you know what we're talking about? Like, do you get the vibe? Do you get the vibe of the actresses that we're discussing? Let us know who you think also fits in this bucket.
And I shouldn't say bucket. I really should say like spa suite. I mean, they don't have to be in a bucket, ladies. They're very accomplished. All of them's wonderful and fantastic. I'm just talking about how long is the dinner party that I have to attend with you. That's really the one. The rest are like, Charlize, I will be your friend. I will be your friend.
You're staying all night.
Yes.
You're not watching the clock. You're staying all night.
We're going to have weed. We're going to call your friend Seth. We're going to talk about great fun things. We're going to travel together. We're going to talk about all the things. You're great. Love her. She's great. She's even so great that she venomously shut out and shut down that little Twilight gal for being a sloppy hoe. She disrupted her whole career.
Kristen Stewart?
Fuck her. Yes, because she cheated with the director and like broke up marriage and relationships and all this stuff. And Charlize was like, "Yeah, fuck you, you Twinkie twat. Fuck off." And got her pulled from the movie and all future shit and suck on it. I love that. Good for you.
My kids came home this week separately, 2 different days as a day off from camp, and the other day, Mallory was home with 2 of her friends, and they went in the basement where it's freezing because it's subterranean. So they're in the freezing cold basement, and these kids are used to being outside with no AC and 100 degrees. So this was the biggest day off treat. And they watched whatever we had on the DVR, which was Charlie's Angels. And she said, so I ordered pizza, garlic knots, cheese fries. They came up and ate from the trough that I created with all the slutty brownies, like all the treats. And they said, I heard them talking, which is really my favorite thing to do, like seeing the animal in their own habitat. Like I really love just listening to their conversations. And she said, I think that's the first time Kristen Stewart, here's where it's relevant to what you were saying. I think that's the first time Kristen Stewart was actually almost enjoyable and while acting.
Wow.
That she didn't have her
I don't really believe
face
it. Yeah, I don't believe it's possible. I can't
She said
get there.
she was delightful in that movie. She didn't say it to me, but
they said
it to each other.
Her whole acting persona is to walk around looking like she's wicked constipated and that it's going to get resolved right then. That's her facial expression. That's
Waiting for it to happen.
That's her go-to move. Like I'm sitting on the bowl as I talk to you.
Wait, is this the moment?
She's like biting her lip and shaking her head around. And, what are you doing? Can you not take a class? Everybody knows how to act. It's not that hard. I mean, you didn't get this job because you know how to act. Could you at least pretend? that you are going to live up to the moment. I don't even really find her attractive. I know that she's got a career because of the way that she looks. Certainly not the way that she acts. But no, I don't get it. I don't get the whole thing. Anyway, I agree. So
she said it was the first time that she's seen her act where she's actually enjoyed. She also does not like the Twilight movies. She would enjoy the books, even though Stephenie Meyer is super weird.
I love them 1,000,000%. I fell in love with them from watching those stupid movies with Kristen Stewart. And the whole time I kept thinking, what's the matter with her mouth? Did she eat something? But I kept watching.
Did she have to poop?
But I kept watching. And I became enthralled with the story. It is so insipid. It's like I'm sitting here telling you that I fell in love with this 18-second commercial for mouthwash. Like, I get that there is zero content.
I get you can judge what I'm saying.
I super know that it is the dumbest. Like, what? You read the back of a cereal box and now you are a part of the cereal empire. You have every single thing it's like the most ridiculous thing ever. And for whatever, I went and read all the books. I read it multiple times. I read her drafts. I like stalked her around the whole thing. And I don't know why. I mean, that's the beginning and end.
Looking back,
well, it's like
I
people,
regret it
well,
to a
it's
certain
like people
degree.
talk about Stacey Abrams. She's this force of nature in the political sphere. And one of the things that she did, in addition to being an accomplished lawyer, one of the things that she did was write romance novels.
Yep.
And I'm talking bodice ripper.
This is before a kick-ass get out the vote effort.
Bodice ripper romance
porn,
novels, right? And so I'm in a couple of groups on Facebook because I find it all hilarious and they are ridiculous. This bodice ripper stuff, they're not fooling around. I thought Twilight was steamy. Steamy is like
she's a Mormon. She's not
porn.
writing.
No.
She's
it's
not writing.
Not steamy. It's not steamy. It's Victorian porn is what the Twilight stuff is. This steamy business, good Lord, because what they post in these Facebook groups, just to let you know, I've never read any of this stuff. If I did, it'd be great, and I'd tell you all about it. I'm not a true fan. What I love about these groups is they constantly post memes of the worst examples of their genre that they can find, and they're so bad.
Does that mean they have a sense of humor about it?
Lady, you have not laughed harder until you have read some poorly written erotica from a male perspective. It's just so it is the funniest shit that you've ever
because it's not male even perspective. How do they even know?
It's not even they don't. It's not even erotica. It's this body. You're meant to be like a Harlequin style, steamy, get you pumped up romance. All about the connection. It's porn. It's what they're talking about. It is so poorly done. It's just hilarious. I'll pull some examples and post them in the Brillob Squad group on Facebook, and you'll be able to see.
That sounds great.
They crack me the fuck up. Super
Throw
funny.
a couple on Insta. Dear listeners, are you following us on Insta? Because you should be. We're starting to churn out some really interesting, hilarious, good stuff. Let's just say good stuff. That's what we're doing. That's
what
it.
We're doing. That's super what we're doing. We know that's what we're doing.
What do you do when... You know us. We say dumb shit that's funny. What do you do when you don't get the appropriate giggle or haha or
Why are you
LOL?
trying out funny in an email to someone
Trying
you
out.
don't know?
It's a text. I'm trying out. It's who I am. I'm not trying anything out. All right. How about this?
What did you do? What did you do? Do we need a new bucket? Do we need to put a bucket for Melissa?
Yeah, I'm going to be in my own bucket. Well,
no.
It happened twice. First, I went to call the vet because it's time for the kids' wellness appointments, right? The four-leggeds.
Okay, yeah.
And I picked a day where my husband's off so I could take all three. We'll all stress out. We'll all get diarrhea. And then we'll all come home and nap. Like, let's just get it done. I don't want to come back.
Such a window into your life.
Right.
Really makes no sense.
It really is.
Okay, continue, please.
So I called there and I said...
He's a very important man. He deals with humans who have diarrhea on a daily basis. Take a day off because I would like you to have canine schlots all over you and your car. Bring it. And
I need your car. That's why you're home.
And for your trouble, sir, here is the bill.
Oh, it's got a comma. Fuck off. So I call the vet, and the woman who answers, young girl who answers, I don't know her. And I got to tell you, I know everybody there. In the course of a year, I got 2 dogs. I euthanized 2 dogs. Oof. I've been there for lumps. In the course of a year, I know everybody who, don't know Nora.
You're basically a trustee at the vet. Yes.
I definitely sent the owner's kids to her private school. So super. Oh, Nora. I don't know that name. She said, what's your last name? First of all, I know you have caller ID. And second of all, here it is. So she looks, is this for Frankly Brilliant and Normal? Yes.
I'm so sorry. When you said, what's your last name? I thought that was you asking her. She was asking
me. And I know she has caller ID, but that's fine. So then she says, I pick a date, really, because far out enough. August 1st, whatever. Stuart's off. I have his car. I have his arms to hold 2 leashes so we don't cross streams and die. Yeah. So, right. Wait, we're going in there? No, thank you. So I said, I'd like this vet. So which date is that vet? And she said, that vet doesn't work here anymore. And I was like, okay. Amy, did I call your vet?
You got a wrong number. None of this makes any sense.
Makes no sense. So I said to her, but this is her practice. She started this practice. It's hers. And she said, well, she has taken to this, whatever the name of the practice is, Angels, where she is just doing at-home euthanizing of family pets. Like that's her new branch off of her business.
That career path is.
And I said, so here's where I don't know if I can go to this vet anymore. I said,
what do you do for a living? Well, I travel to people's houses and kill their pets.
And then take them away. I assume she takes them away after that, right? So I said to her,
studied a lot of years. For that.
So I said to her, well, I guess she'll see them in the end anyway.
Oh my God.
And there were crickets on the other end of the phone.
It's like, listen, Nora, you work for me as soon as you figure out I'm in the system longer than you are. So
Nora,
put somebody else on the fucking phone.
Everybody dies. This is what I'm saying. She's eventually going to see all of these
dogs. These are the jokes, kid. Yeah, get on board.
She did not. Cricket. I was like, well, I guess whoever's still there is the doc I'll see, because I don't really care. I need to get to know you anyway. Because
little heads up for you, Nora. The next time the donuts come in, you get 0. That's how many you get. No laughing, no pastry. That's how it works. Tough shit.
That's what Stuart said. He said, well, I guess she'll know you better after your first visit and the donuts start showing up. I'm like, I don't think I'm bringing them donuts anymore. No, I brought them because I loved my vets. Right. I don't know who these people are.
And now your vet's off killing private animals. And you know what? You don't even get anybody at the front staff. Fuck them.
Privately killing. I'm not a public murderer anymore.
Yeah. I don't want that. I don't want group kill. Could you have privates?
I thought about that. I would not be in intense pain every morning when I wake up with my back if she had come to my house in the first place and euthanized Wilby Brilliant. And he never was, by the way. Wilby was a misnomer. I fucked up. Anyway, what do you do when you have somebody who doesn't get you? Because I'm sending these texts to my kid's future roommate's mother, and I'm waiting. Like, all right, so I sent the first one, and it said something like, I just wanted to touch base about...
Well, hang on a second. You told me you had 2. So the first one was Nora, and I just want to close that door and say, Nora is the problem.
Okay, thank you.
Nora is the problem. You are not the problem here. Now, in the second offense...
Yeah.
The jury's still out.
Okay, so wait,
it
here's
remains
the second
to be
one.
Seen. You have the floor.
Dear Amy, I just wanted to get together with about the microwave, refrigerator, and the cleaning lady.
Oh God!
See how you wanted to go about paying for splitting like the microwave, the refrigerator, freezer, and the cleaning lady.
Ooh. And what was the answer?
At least hers came back with a "ha?" question mark. Ha.
Yeah,
which is appropriate. That's more appropriate than just
homie says what? Yeah,
right.
Oh,
yeah. So
boy. Well, that's interesting because in our dealie, they've eliminated all of those questions, so we didn't really get those questions. They have a cleaning service, and the microwave and refrigerator are included in your little tiny dorm. They have cleaning staff that does the public bathroom, whatever public. If you're in a dorm that has
not your bedroom.
No, but if you're in a suite style, they also have there's housekeeping that comes like 3 times a week or something like this.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, really? Because that's a little too fucking posh as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's going into your private space.
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm like, what's the fucking college experience? We used to live on Skid Row. I mean, that's what it was called.
Doesn't that just say everything?
Thank you. I mean, it was super close to a lot of stuff, and Had some good times there.
Did Skid Row catch on fire?
Yeah, skip church, go to chapel. That was before Eddie was there, though. Everything's great. I think it was great. College should be an econo-level experience in terms of lifestyle. You shouldn't have your own
That's what camp is
matcha latte station in the. You know what I mean? It's like at a certain point, you gotta scale the amenities back. They're students. We've got a university here that is putting on airs, is a nice way to say it. Their tagline is the premier life skills university.
High Point. Is this High Point?
High Point University. And it makes them sound like they're for developmentally delayed
Disabled.
adults.
Yeah.
Yes. That's not, I don't think that's what you mean.
But what they are saying is we're going to teach you
grooming
the cow.
the C-suite. Yeah, it's like
right.
You're
going to meet a cow. You're going to know what cut you want to eat and which part of him you want to put on your couch.
They have a steakhouse as one of their
dining
halls is a steakhouse, and it's formal wear. You have to wear a suit and tie, whatever. When you go there, and you're required to go and display table manners. In their study spaces, the communal spaces are all leather sofas and proper leather sofas and leather chairs. Part of that is a nod to High Point. Used to be the international home furnishings capital of the world, right? So where it's all made there, that's shifted. But this idea that furnishings are important, but also if you have a nice space, you're going to treat it nice. That's their
I get
their
it, but
idea.
That kind of is the life skills class at the high school.
It's
that
also
really is.
like, if you're paying this much money, do you really think you don't know how to cut a fucking steak? I mean, you've been watching Mummy do it for you for years.
Mummy.
It's just the whole thing. So I'm just
watching
saying,
the nanny do it for years.
I want this. I keep coming back to money in this, but I feel like students in college should have you're pretend adults. You're still learning. Part of learning how to be an adult is not wandering the estate as the baron. It's like you should be at a lower tier. So I don't necessarily want you living in squalor, but I do actually want you living in squalor. Now that I say it, I do. That's what I want. I don't want you to have a maid. I don't want Ethan to have a maid.
He won't.
He won't, because she's not splitting it, and you said, well, fuck you.
It was a joke. He doesn't have a cleaning lady.
I thought you were kidding. I thought you were telling the truth,
No, I was absolutely kidding. My kids are at camp right now. Their name is on a fucking wheel chart, chore chart, where here's what we call it. It's like you have toilets, showers,
no, they have cleaning
sweeping,
service at school. Yeah.
Dustpan, whatever it is. And I said, we talked about it when they were younger. What's the worst job on the chart? What's the worst job? Is it toilets? Is like, what is it? And they said, we all agreed, because I went to camp too. We all agreed the worst job on the job chart is dustpan, because you might as well, when you yell dustpan, you're everybody's bitch, right? You're everybody's bitch. Somebody's sweeping and they just sweep it right into your face as they call you from whatever you're doing to come over and scoop up this pile of shit, dirty underwear.
I don't understand this fucking camp. If you're sweeping, can't you manage your own fucking dust? They only have one dustpan. That doesn't make sense. It's
somebody's job.
It makes no sense. If you're sweeping, it's like toilet. That the person scrubbing the toilet has to call a flusher to come over and flush it. The dustpan goes with the sweeping. I'm going to call this camp.
One person's on the ground and one person's standing up.
That is a shit job, because it's a made up job.
It's the worst.
It's actually that's a hazing job. They've invented that job to disproportionately bully the slow-moving chore chart kids. That's what the whole thing. I don't like this hierarchy.
I said, I don't like it. You're everybody's bitch. And we all agreed it is the worst one on there. So you might as well, instead of yelling dustpan, you yell asshole.
Right.
Somebody comes running over to stick their face in your pile of whatever you found. Uno cards and whatever is left on the ground. So no, I was joking about that. But my kids will be going from being dustpan person to actually having somebody clean the toilet at the end of the hall where you have to walk to go shadoobie.
So what did Sheila say after she went, question mark? Did you go, hee, just kidding?
Yes, yes.
That's the part I missed.
Yeah, so
Meaning
that one worked out okay.
It. Yeah, well,
that's one that worked out okay, but fucking Nora, she could suck it.
She doesn't know how to suck it.
Meanwhile, she's going to be running my credit card, and it's going to be $1 million. My phone has decided that it doesn't recognize me anymore.
Right.
So what do you do? Do I reload my face onto the phone? Because
you can.
Like, I don't know that bitch.
Mine legitimately did this.
Yeah,
because
mine too.
I got glasses, so it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? These are prominent So
Get
yeah,
glasses, Alice.
it would make sense. So it asked, "Can I take your picture again from my little roly-poly, Jenga Jenga?" And I said, "Sure."
It asked you to do that?
Right, in the form of, "Would you like to update this?" It sent me a little, because
Okay.
I kept rejecting it, notice. You can go seek it out and do it, or you can just turn off FaceTime. You can just turn it off. Say, I've got enough FaceTime with myself. I know what I look like. Fuck off.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Can you give us an update about the book you're writing?
Oh boy. We always get the updates on the week where I'm doing very little. It's actually, I am not writing as frequently as I want to, not writing as in long a stint as I want to. I'm going through one of these periods where I'm doing a lot of client work, which I had said I wasn't going to do it all. And then it comes in and I think, well, I can do
this.
I can
I
do
like getting
both.
paid.
Or the other flip side is, why am I saying I can't do both? I need to think of it more in terms of my primary job is to be writing the novel, and then my hobby job is all the client work, even though that's never been what it is. But if I do it that way, I'm like, yeah, instead of when I had my regular job, my hobby of writing the novel was I never touched it just didn't do it. So that's where I was trying to, anyway, I haven't successfully flopped it. But what I can tell you, the update is I have sorted out a number of plot-based concerns that I didn't realize I had.
Okay.
And that's good news. So
Right.
I am 2 chapters in, which is not anywhere near where it needs to be. But I'm also, in terms of the outline, I don't write with an outline, but in terms of the actual, I'm taking the time to do an actual outline, and I'm saving myself a lot of time and clearing things and putting it in the right order, which is very, very helpful. What I typically do is I'll just write the story, and the deeper you get into it, it kind of tells itself. And that will happen here because I know exactly what's supposed to happen.
The direction, right.
The challenge here is, because I've shifted the story over many years and many miles of my life, I keep putting in details that are no longer relevant. I keep including plot points that I'm going to strip out. I put things in the wrong order. So all of that stuff, instead of writing it all the way out, coming back through an edit and pulling it away, what I'm going to do is instead write the outline so that I can pull it away before I write it. So I hate doing what I would call production work, where you're doing the stuff in advance of doing it.
Right.
But it is smart. It is all writing. It's just, at the end of the day, I've got this beautiful outline that isn't another chapter, but it needs to be done. So that's what I've been spending my time working on.
That's great.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great. But
Yeah, but it's going to lead you to feeling great. So that's great.
The discoveries that I've made doing that process feel great. But looking back and saying, how many chapters do you have? That's the question I need to answer. In this way. I'm working on a lot of things all at once. I'm working on losing weight. Doing really well at that. You don't lose weight without shifting your mindset. Shifting your mindset takes a lot of work. It doesn't always happen in a linear motion. It takes continuous work. It's tough to do. So sometimes you have a great gain in shifting your mindset that has nothing to do with actually losing weight. So you feel super excited because the long-term goal is the mindset. That's the thing that has to ultimately be fixed for lifetime success in weight loss. So when you look back and go, how's that weight loss going? And you've had this great mindset shift, which is transformative and dramatic, and the scale is the same or even went up. Like, that is how my novel feels right now. That's my update.
I got 2 updates right there.
Well, I got another update for you.
Yeah.
I've got some questions about last week's show because I kind of glossed over the whole thing with the car, because I honestly, it's still very fresh in my mind, and I just didn't want to.
Huge rock through your back windshield.
It's a negative thing that happened,
Right.
and I don't want to dwell on negative things in my life. I want to think about and generate more positive things in my life. That's how I am. It's an easy.
Start giving your money away.
It's
It'll
a go-to.
happen.
That's another thing that I'm doing. Well, you're supposed to give away, not hundreds of millions. You're supposed to give away 25 things in 25 days, right?
Oh, I
So
could do that.
give away something every single day.
Don't tell Stuart. He would love to clean out this house.
Or 30 things in 30 days, whatever. No, give something away. I gave away a TV. Like, you're supposed to give away important stuff because that also helps sort of transform
It's like
your life
Hanukkah
and,
all over again.
well, the generosity. Anyway, it's just a good habit, blah, blah. That's a different show. My point to you is that in glossing it over, it's because I didn't want to dwell on it, because it kind of bummed me out to have this massive, difficult thing happen. And in glossing over it, I didn't really explain what happened. So just very briefly, what happened? We were traveling. The rear windshield of our car was broken by a rock, which was pretty clearly done on purpose. And we feel like we were very likely targeted based on the stickers on our car for the team that we traveled there to. My kid plays on this team and they're the winning team. So is it likely that somebody accidentally threw a rock that was pointed in the shape of an arrow with such force that it would break the rear windshield of a BMW M5? Gee, I don't even think you could throw it with your hand hard enough. You'd need a stick to do so. So it was kind of like, are you kidding? So that's the what happened. Then the update is your husband, being the bright, loving soul that he is, when we were trying to decide, okay, how do I drive 10 hours home with no rear window? Because the Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace got all jacked up, not coming for 2 weeks, and I got to be home today. What do we do?
Right.
He said, take it. I know. I got a guy. Go over and see my guy. You're going to love it. So I drove over.
Go see my guy.
So his guy happens to be the fucking Ferrari service shop, which I didn't realize. So I go over to Cavallos, right? It has prancing horse in the front. I'm like, sure it does. So I walk in, and this place was like a fucking spa. The dude...
cars.
I drive up. No, for people. I drive up. The dude meets me in the outside, comes outside. It's a house. Comes outside of the house, shakes my hand. Hi, hello, come immediately inside. Would you like some coffee? TV's playing. Here's the Wi-Fi password. Here's the leather sofa. Put your feet up. Do you have 10 minutes? Why don't I take care of this? So what was he going to do? He taped it up professionally so that I didn't have to drive to Lowe's and get the blue tape and the flap, 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 flap.
Right.
So I'm driving down the road like I don't even know
yelling at the kid who's in the car with you. I said, hold it down.
Like a 1982 gremlin. Yeah. No. So he did the whole thing, and they did it in 10 minutes. I kept the business card because even the business card was so nice. It was like extra thick, and it has that velvet. So when you even when you touch it, your fingers are like, I want to keep touching this business card. It's really nice. So the whole place was just fresh flowers in there. And I never once walked in there and thought, these people are super overcharging everybody who comes in here. It's the truth. But I just was enamored at how nice the experience was. So, I mean, maybe that's what those billionaires are looking for in space. They're just looking for a different kind of hotel. So I thank you to Cavallos, who was so nice in working me in. And she wouldn't charge me. Wouldn't charge me at all. Of course he wouldn't charge me. So
I think maybe he's taking a little bit off the next time we hit a deer and he has to replace the entire front end of my car.
Well, I'm sure that you guys have earned this little perk in myriad ways. And I thank you for being the beneficiary. It turned out to be, we were so grateful to have your house be nearby with
CJ
the garage.
At Cavallos. Yeah.
Thank you, CJ.
And it rained too. We're like, I didn't think it was supposed to rain.
We had a safe place to put the car and not worry about things getting stolen. We had 2 cars during that trip, so it didn't really disrupt us that much. We have the means to be able to get it replaced immediately. We had connections to tape it up safely so I could drive home. It was as convenient as it could possibly be.
Is this because people love to help?
I think they do love to help.
I do not.
You laugh and laugh.
That's Amy's theory on life, and I strongly disagree. People like to laugh at you on the side of the road, I feel, but she has a different experience than I do. My quick update, and it is super quick, is that the beach house was pushed back another month.
How does that work? How does that work? What do you mean?
Supposed to be the end of September. Means the super low rates right now for mortgages are not going to be available to us in 30 days when we are allowed to get a rate. You don't know that. So you're not able to get your home loan until you close? I think there's a 60 to 75 day lock-in, and we can't do that yet because the end of October is beyond that.
Those rates are going to stay low, and they're going to drop lower. They're going to drop lower. You don't have anything to worry about. From your mouth,
my friend.
You don't have anything to worry about. You don't have anything to worry about. I'm telling you. I have all the inside secrets. And you know why?
Why?
Because just this past weekend, I want to say it was on Tuesday, I had Jeff Bezos nuts in my mouth with ranch, and he was giving me all these insider stock tips. I know exactly what the markets are going to do. He controls them all.
He controls nothing. He controls his money, and he only controls half of it because he gave half of it to Melinda. That's Gates.
It may not even have an M in it. We don't care. They're divorced now anyway. They're divorced now anyway.
Hey Siri, what's Jeff Bezos' ex-wife's name?
Marauder.
Jeff Bezos was married to Mackenzie Bezos.
Mackenzie. I knew it was an M. I knew it had an M in it.
Okay, just checking.
Money. Her name was Money Bezos.
Mackenzie Bezos. Yeah, I would do nice things with that money if I had that
I would be such an
opportunity.
excellent rich person. I really would. I
agree.
really would.
I agree. I wonder if our listeners think they'd be excellent rich people as well.
I would be an
What
excellent
would
rich
you
person.
do, dear listener, with all of that money? Where would you send it? What would you do with it? Keeping, of course, in our heads that you have taken care of yourself and your children.
Of course.
But we're not talking about that kind of money. We're not talking about, I won the lottery money, which you can crawl into bed, pillow talk your way through anytime you want.
We're talking 14th largest
Giga yacht.
14th largest country money. Like you have more money than you're the 13th largest country in terms of how much money and wealth you control. That's where you are.
It's absolutely batshit crazy.
Yes,
What
yeah.
would you do with it? Where would you funnel it?
I
Where
would
you
drive
send
to
it?
the center of the Earth's core and plant a flag in the shape of my penis. I mean, that's how stupid these idiots are, right?
I think he went the other direction, but that's exactly
Give
what
him
he tried
10
to do.
minutes. Give him 10 minutes. We'll be at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. I mean, just really?
Earth's core, planting a flag shaped like your penis. Now it's going to have to be the graphic for our
Isn't
episode.
everything shaped like a penis? I mean, honestly.
Only the good things.
Ooh. Okay. Wow.
We're grateful for you. Thank you for listening. We're out.
Hopefully you're still with us. Bye.
Bye.
Penis.